Imagine you're standing with your feet in the Pacific Ocean in San Diego, California, looking inland. You're about to embark on a 3,000-mile walk from San Diego to the tip of the Main. On the first day, you march 20 miles, making it out of town. On the second day, you march 20 miles, and again on the third day, you march 20 miles, heading into the heat of the desert. It's hot, more than 100 degrees, and you want to rest in the cool of your tent, but you don't. You get up and you march 20 miles. You keep the pace 20 miles a day. When the weather cools and you're in comfortable conditions with the wind at your back, and you could go much farther, but you hold back, modulating your effort. You stick with your 20 miles. Then you reach the Colorado high mountains and get hit by snow, wind, and temperatures below zero. And all you want to do is stay in your tent. But you get up, you get dressed, you march your 20 miles. You keep up the effort 20 miles, 20 miles, 20 miles. Then you cross into the plains and it's glorious springtime. And you can go 40 or 50 miles in a day, but you don't. You sustain your pace marching 20 miles. And eventually you get to Maine. Now imagine another person who starts out with you on the same day in San Diego. He gets all excited by the journey and logs 40 miles in the first day. Exhausted from his first gigantic day, he wakes up to 100-degree temperatures, decides to hang out until the weather cools, thinking I'll make it up when the conditions improve. He maintains this pattern, big days with good conditions, whining and waiting in his tent on the bad days as he moves across the western United States. Just before Colorado high mountains, he gets a spat of great weather and he goes all out, logging 40 to 50 miles a day to make up lost ground. But then he hits a huge winter storm when utterly exhausted. It nearly kills him, and he hunkers down in his tent, waiting for spring. When spring finally comes, he emerges, weakened, and stumbles off towards Maine. By the time he enters Kansas City, you, with your relentless 20-mile march, have already reached the tip of Maine. You win by a huge margin. This is a parable, a story that Jim Collins has shared in his beautiful book, Great by Choice. So, Jim has written a couple of really cool books. Good to Great is the most popular one, and then Great by Choice is my best read because it kind of gives you this idea that how do you go from zero to good, or how do you become great by choice. And then of course, like when you apply the good to great principles to it, it kind of adds up, and it's true for personal development and business success. So that's what kind of excites me. And this particular concept that I'm talking to you about today is called 20-mile march. And Jim says that, hey, there are two ways to go about the world or about the work that you're doing. One is that you decide upon a certain amount of work that you're going to do every day, and you do it irrespective of how things are, how you're feeling, what is going on in the world. You still do the decided upon work day in and day out. And the other side is that you are falling prey to your own whims and emotions. So you sometimes, when you feel great, you go hard and you do a lot of work, and when you don't feel good, you do lesser amount of work. And he says that the person who's disciplined, who has decided that this is the kind of work that he needs to do every day, they win by a huge margin every day, right? uh, Maybe initially they might be at a loss, but there will be a point when they cross over, and there will be a point where when they surpass everyone, no matter what. It also reminds me of this tale of the turtle and the hare. So the hare, really excited, goes and runs a huge chunk of the race, but then also wants to rest now because he's tired. So he rests, and while he was resting, the turtle, who had decided that I'm going to take one step at a time, keeping the same pace throughout, he crosses the hare, and he crosses it so much that he wins the race, even though the hare was faster, right? So I'm sure you know about the turtle and the hare story. Of course, I'm really bad at telling that story right now, but that's the idea. That's the exact idea that Jim is also trying to tell over here with 20 Mile March, and he says that hey, you need to decide what is that work that you need to do, um, so that every time, like you measure yourself with that. So it could be something that you're doing every day, that means on an everyday cadence, or it could be monthly cadence, or it could be quarterly cadence, or it could be yearly cadence, whatever that cadence is for you, or the organization. But the important thing is that you stick to it, and then you make it a standard that hey, if we do not reach it, then it's bad for the entire company, it's bad for the entire organization. And if we do reach it, then great, then we need to improve again, then we need to continue doing it. But if we don't reach it, then we need to really hunker down, understand what happened, why did we let that happen, and we really need to get back to that again in the next run, right? So that's what 20 mile march is. Very simple concept, but really, really, really important results that come out of it. um, Now he says that there are two parts to this, which is in a 20-mile march that you need like a lower bound, that what is the minimum that you're going to do, and an upper bound, which is what is the maximum that you're going to do. And when you do these when you put ceilings like this allows you to uh, curb your ambition also, because even if you want to do more, you are not, you're disciplined about that as well, and at the same time uh, you're also curbing your procrastination and the laziness in the organization. You're essentially saying that hey, we cannot be lazy, we need to do at least this and above, right? So you've put standards upon yourself and the organization, and that guides the organization forward, and it does not let the organization come to a standstill in any way. The 20-mile march is more than a philosophy. It's about having concrete, clear, intelligent, and rigorously pursued performance mechanisms that keep you on track. The 20-mile march creates two types of self imposed discomfort: the discomfort of unwavering commitment to high performance in difficult conditions, and the discomfort of holding back in good conditions. Both of them are really important. That self control and the self drive, both of them are really important, because you that's how you kind of keep the things together, right? You kind of push yourself further, you try new things, and yeah, you do it. Now, one great example of a 20-mile march is Southwest Airlines, where they decided that we're going to have a profitable year every year. And I think what he shows is from 1973 to 2002, which is consecutive 30 years, Southwest Airlines has hit profitability every year of those 30 years. That's called a 20-mile march, something that they do not miss any single year. And Southwest has grown multifold in that time, right? So it's crazy to think 30 years and they've not missed a single year in that. So 20-mile marches are not short, they are long run. So think 5, 10, 20 years in the process. And that's what builds that muscle, that's what builds that character in the organization as well as the people working in that organization. uh, Jim writes, the elements of good 20 mile march. A good 20 mile march uses performance markers that delineate a lower bound of acceptable achievement. As I said, lower bound. This creates productive discomfort and overcomes inertia, procrastination, and all of those things. Much like hard physical training, rigorous mental development, and must be challenging to achieve in difficult times, right? So it should be difficult, it should be challenging to achieve in difficult times, but it should not be impossible. A good 20-mile march also has self imposed constraints. This creates an upper bound for how far you'll march when facing robust opportunity and exceptionally good conditions, right? So it keeps your resources really well stocked, and you don't overextend yourself. So a 20 A good 20-mile march is tailored to the enterprise and its environment. There is no all-purpose 20-mile march. Again, an important concept to understand, that you cannot copy from someone else. You need to really understand what business you're in and what are the things that you control and what things you want to achieve every year. And that becomes your 20-mile march. You cannot copy someone else blindly and think that it will work. A good 20-mile march, it has lies largely within your control to achieve. Really important. You shouldn't need luck to achieve your march. So a good 20-mile march is lies largely within your control to achieve. You shouldn't need luck to achieve your march, right? This is the most important part, and this is what gives that DNA of an amazing, like this strength, that resilience. It comes from this that it lies within your control, irrespective of the environment, irrespective of what's happening outside. You can still control that particular outcome. A good 20-mile march has a Goldilocks time frame, but not too short and not too long, but just right. So Goldilocks time frame is again important, that depending on what kind of metric you choose, you cannot be it cannot be too long for you to measure it, because otherwise it will lose its effectiveness, and it cannot be too short, where it becomes unreasonable, right? So it's like asking a child who, you know, like asking a child to learn the entire years of curriculum in just 1 month, because that will be unreasonable. But if the same child is taking 2 years to complete that same curriculum, then that is, I mean, if you're checking 2 years later to see if they've done the curriculum, then it's too far away. So 1 year for this particular example, to finish 1 year's curriculum, 1 year is the right Goldilocks time frame for this, right? So it needs to be really nicely timed, not too short, not too long, just the right amount, so that it actually becomes useful. Good 20-mile march is designed and self-imposed by the enterprise, not imposed from the outside or blindly copied from others. Again, important, it is about self-discipline. At an organizational scale, it's about self-discipline. So the more you can, the more the enterprise imposes it on itself, the better, stronger, more resilient enterprise becomes. Finally, a 20-mile march must be achieved with great consistency. Good intentions do not count, right? So intentions may be good, bad, I don't know, I don't care, no one cares. What matters is that it needs to be consistent. It needs to happen every day, every week, every month, every year, and that consistency needs to be tracked, needs to be shared, needs to be shown across the organization, and that's what creates the real result, right? Uh, do you need to accomplish your 20-mile march with 100% success? The 10x companies didn't have a perfect record, only a near perfect record, but they never saw missing a march as okay. If they missed it even once, they obsessed over what they needed to do to get back on track. There is no excuse. It is up to us to correct from our failures, period. Right? So it's not okay to miss a 20-mile march. You have to figure out the reasons and go again at it, but we cannot let it slide in any case. Now, why does 20-mile marches win? And it's very straightforward answers, but I'm just reading out to you. It builds confidence in your ability to perform well in adverse circumstances. So even when times are bad, you are still performing really well. Second, it reduces the likelihood of catastrophe when you're hit by a turbulent disruption. So when there is actual real turbulent disruption, like COVID, you know, you you you're not, I mean, you're not getting stuck in that catastrophe. It reduces the likelihood. It does not eliminate it. No, nothing can eliminate it, but it definitely and drastically reduces it. And the third one is helps you exert self-control, right? So it makes you always feel that you have a say in no matter what the environment is, and you're able to control that outcome. And with that, I'm going to stop, because this is where this like kind of concept ends. So I love this particular concept, 20-mile march, simply because It tells you, teaches you, explains to you that no matter if you're an individual or an organization, there are things that you can control, that you can influence, and that you will and should influence. And you need to find that 20-mile march, get back at it again and again and again every day. And that's what builds the strong character in your company. And that would be the result that gets you the lasting success that you and the people that you're working with see and find, right? So even personally, it's a beautiful, beautiful concept, because I think I can apply it to my own life, and it would definitely give amazing, amazing results. So yeah, that's kind of it. I will see you in the next one. I will put the link for this book down in the description, so you can check that out and buy the book. It's a great book by Jim Collins. I will keep coming back to it. It's one of my favorites. So possibly again I'll come back to it. So yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.